Hi there, everyone. It's me, Jocelyn. Today we're talking about, I should say, ducats instead of ducats. So we're talking about ducats today. Not that medieval century coin you might be thinking about. No, we're not talking about that kind of ducat. It's basically when you have something you really want to do, but you're really worried about the consequences, and so you keep going back and forth and second guessing yourself and talking yourself in and out of it and up and down and around it. And then at the end of the day, you just say, duck it. And you do it, or you try to do it. You basically say, I don't care about the consequences right now, or I do care about the consequences, but I'm not letting myself think about those. I'm not letting it stop me before I even try. It's giving yourself permission to try and potentially fail, which is super freaking important. Sorry, my face is itchy. It's super important to fail. It's super important to fail because literally, without that, how would you know what not to do? How would you know what you like and what you don't like? Failure is the name of the game at the end of the day. I mean, eventually you want success and stuff, but you don't find the fun things without really sucking at something first. It's like when you learn to write, or if you write with your non-dominant hand right now, unless you're really skilled at writing with both hands. If you go and you try and write with your non-dominant hand right now, I guarantee it's gonna look like you've never learned how to write in your life. But the thing is now, your handwriting doesn't look like that on your dominant hand, of course, because obviously your non-dominant hand still looks like that. I mean, part of the challenge. With your non-dominant hand, it looks like you've never learned how to write. With your dominant hand, it's you've had years and years of practice, you've made the mistakes, you've had to really think about which direction the F goes and with which way a D is, a B is, a P is, or a Q is. So you gotta give yourself permission to fail and get better. Experiment. I mean, like, if we didn't experiment a little bit, your signature would not look the same as it does today. I don't know how many versions of my signature I've gone through, and this is just writing. Not to mention, like, whatever your skill set is, there was a time when you failed hard. When you just, like, you made choices, and you did it, but, like, ooh, looking back, it's just cringe. It's just so much cringe. Basically, like most of the makeup I did in high school. But you learn from it and you get better, but you don't go that route unless you do a ducat, you know? And so you gotta give yourself permission to do those things. Gotta say, like, okay, maybe this year or this next couple of months, if you know you have a bunch of really challenging months coming up and there's gonna be a lot of change, give yourself like a certain number of ducats where you say, okay, I can super analyze the crap out of this. I can like go the extra mile and really like self-doubt, but at the end of the day, I'm using one of those ducats to actually do it. And I'm following through. You have to follow through with a ducat, otherwise you didn't use it. I'm just saying. You can use a ducat for anything. You can use a ducat to ask out the person you have a crush on. You can use a ducat to quit the job that you have hated and has been sucking the life out of you and causing you so much pain and anxiety. You can use the ducat to literally just wait until tomorrow to wash the dishes if you wanted to. It's like a tiny one. But if you're really stressed out and you just need 5 minutes of your time, and you know that doing that one extra thing is going to like cause problems for you, like taking care of yourself in other ways, use a ducat. Like, use a ducat to take care of yourself, take care of your needs, and take care of what you want to do. Because if you don't try, if you just go your entire life without challenging yourself and challenging yourself to potentially fail, then what are you doing? Are you just doing the things that are easy? I like challenging myself. It gives me incredible anxiety. Don't get me wrong. Like, ooh, there are many times where I am just self-loathing because I chose to do something that is very difficult for me. There's times where I have so many issues trying to get something done that I challenged myself to do, but at that point I've either said duck it, or I have gotten to a point where I would feel really silly not following through on it, and so I've kind of forced myself into following through. I hope that somebody else out there has had that instance too. And, you know, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it does not work. Sometimes it is utter failure. But other times it can be a lot of fun. I can learn how to do stuff that I've never known how to do before. I started a YouTube channel, which may or may not work out for me, but at least I'm trying, and at least I'm putting myself out there, and I'm doing something that currently I find fun. Maybe I won't find it fun at the end of the day, and maybe I'll stop, but for right now, I'm having fun with it. But yeah, use a duck it. Use a duck it. Tell yourself that you can do it. Do it. Follow through. And just try. Be who you are. I don't care who that is. I just want you to be who you are, because you're more interesting that way. It's harder to interact with somebody when you think they're hiding who they are. It feels weird. It feels shady. We tend not to trust those people. So why are you doing it? Why? Use a duck it, man. If you have a book that you really want to read and you're like, oh, what will people think of me if I read this book? Read it. It's a book. It's a video. If you want to go see Frozen 2 in theaters, see it. Like, why should you care if it's a children's movie? There's plenty of adults out there who love children's movies. Kick your anxiety in the face and say, we're going today, anxiety, and you're gonna enjoy yourself and you can panic about it later. Because sometimes you just need to do that. You just need to say, okay, look, we're doing it now. You can rationalize and go back on it later, but anxiety comes from worry about the future. So usually when that happens, you don't have the same anxieties that you did going in. Like, you're just dealing with it at that point, which I don't know about you, but it's a whole lot easier for me to just deal with something that I've done than like try and think about what I might have to do in the future. That's the issue for me. So use a duck it, man. Get your 10 ducats together and say, I'm spending 10 of these before this date. Maybe you have a wedding coming up, or maybe you have something just arbitrary date. Give yourself an arbitrary date, an arbitrary number of ducats. Keep track of them. Say you get to the end of the month, you haven't used any. Try using one. Maybe it's going crazy and getting a new drink at your favorite coffee shop. Maybe it is buying yourself a tumbler, which gives you a discount, but it's money up front. Maybe it's doing something completely silly and wacky just because you want to have fun. Maybe it's attempting to parkour and, taking proper safety precautions. I'm not saying don't take proper safety precautions. That's not what I'm saying. But just have fun with it. Try it. We beat ourselves up so much because we don't try. But you gotta try sometimes. You gotta try, and you gotta learn to love yourself and just spend a ducat. Just spend it. Just do it. Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams.
But yeah, have fun. Live your life. Stop telling yourself that you can't do something before you try. And if you try with all your being for it. Like, don't go halfway through it because you're trying to prove to yourself that you can't. Try to prove yourself wrong. Try to prove that you can do something. If it's something that takes a lot of training, build up to it. If you want to change careers, take a class. Find somebody who's in that career and shadow them. Find somebody who's in that career and just talk to them. See if they want to sit down and have a coffee. A lot of people are very interested in talking to other people about their jobs if you want to listen to it. Not everyone asks about it sometimes, and some people have really freaking cool jobs. So why would you stop yourself from learning more about it just because you don't have experience in that area? Let me tell you something about experience, hun. You can manipulate so much of your own personal experience to fit the experience that you think you don't have. I have a theater degree. I know all about this. It is all manipulation of the skills that you've learned. At the end of the day, you can say, I have a theater degree. Or you can say, I can talk to people. I have really good interpersonal communication skills. I have excellent time management from all of those late night rehearsals. I even had to direct something a couple times in college. And oh yes, I'm very good at managing other people's time as well. Boom, you got a personal assistance experience right there. Maybe you do things on the side. That's experience. It might feel weird because it's not like your full-time job, or maybe it's not your main part-time job. Maybe you don't even get paid for it. Still experience. Don't discount the fact that just because you're not employed by some big company that you don't have experience. Use a ducat, man. Use a ducat because you do have experience. You have a lot of it. You wouldn't be on this earth at this point if you didn't have some experience. Watching this YouTube video, you have to at least figure out how to get on the internet. I'm proud of you for that. Good freaking job, man. Use that experience, figure out how it can spiral into other things. Spend a ducat to invest in yourself, invest in your time, invest in your skills. Take a class, learn Tai Chi, decide to get a personal trainer for a month or two. Whatever is your holdup, if it's something little that just your anxiety is getting in the way of, use a ducat. Because it's a lot of fun sometimes. Sometimes it's crap, but other times it's not. And the other times are what we're here for. So, spend it, man. What are you waiting for? I'll see you next time, okay? Bye! And there's gonna be videos that pop up over here. Yep, and don't forget to subscribe, please. Ring the bell, share, notify yourself, and leave a comment on how you've spent your ducat. Tell me about the ways in which you invest in yourself. Tell me how you're being kind to you today.